Yeah.
All right, let's talk some hockey, Tracy. We had Joel Quenneville here as a head coach. I, for one, was sorry to see him go. I'm going to ask you a weird question right off the top. Joel Quenneville, whether he wins the Stanley Cup this year with the Hawks or not, is he a Hall of Famer?
I think so, yeah. I mean, you look at, I think we're talking over 750 victories. You have to look to be sure of that. But he'll probably move into second all-time. Scotty Bowman's record is pretty untouchable. I mean, maybe if Joel coaches another 20 years, he can hit that. But, I mean, that's pretty tough to top. But you've got a guy who's won 2 Stanley Cups thus far. If he wins a third as a head coach, then, it definitely ends any debate. But also, as you said, won a cup out there as an assistant coach, too. So, the track record speaks for itself. This is a guy who, he makes the right decisions. Every now and then he makes a wrong one, but he certainly made more that have worked than haven't. So, pretty tremendous resume of what he's been able to do, and I absolutely think he's a Hall of Famer.
Tracy, this is what I hate the terms old school, new school, but so I turned it around earlier this week to old rule, new cool. That you've got the highest scoring team in the NHL that actually plays a style that's been similar to the Blackhawks in the past, but they sort of surpassed the Blackhawks in how they play a speeded up game. And you got the Blackhawks who've been there over and over again, 3 times recently. Who's going to have the real advantage? Because we know that Tampa Bay does have the home ice advantage, which means nothing in the NHL, but in terms of style of play, who do you think has the advantage?
Well, I mean, I'm curious to find that out myself because you've got, like you said, you've got this very young upstart team in Tampa Bay, and I give them full credit for being a young team. They're a very heady team. They're very confident, not brash. There's a difference, but they almost have this calm confidence about them, despite the youth, and it certainly helps that they have a couple of veterans on the team and everything. We know what their style is. It's very up-tempo. The thing about the Blackhawks is that, as I've seen over the last couple of years, is they can play any style. They just kind of adapt their game to suit others, and they didn't get into the massive physical game with the Anaheim Ducks. That's the one game they cannot play. They're just not big enough to do so. But they take what other teams give them, and then they play accordingly. So, we're going into an up-tempo series, which is also something that the Blackhawks love to do. So I'm ready for track meet hockey, personally. But, I give the Blackhawks the edge based on experience at this juncture. I think that certainly helps them.
Do you think the NHL, this was the series they wanted? I believe that they're
Tampa,
sitting in the
really?
New York.
You think
no,
they
I
want
think they're
Tampa?
sitting in the New York office saying, what we really wanted were 2 of the top 3 cities in the country.
Yeah, they want Montreal. They want the Rangers. They want the Bruins.
But they wanted Rangers versus Blackhawks. But I believe that the NHL is getting the finals that it should have.
Why?
Well, Tampa Bay is an exciting team to watch. They can score 7 or 8 goals. You've got the Blackhawks who've played 18 overtime games.
Oh yeah, the Hawks are great. Tampa, though, I'm not so sure.
So Tracy, in terms of, for your own personal standpoint, is this a series that the NHL really should have?
I think in terms of, viewership and getting the big markets just solely based on that, yeah, I'm sure they had visions of Blackhawks and Rangers dancing in their head. As far as the game that they're going to get, the series that they're going to get out of this, I think they're going to be very happy that they ended up with these 2 because of the style that's going to be, because you've got the superstars on both ends, Steven Stamkos on one side and Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane on the other, just those young. This is what their game is. This is what they want their game to be, are these type of guys. And they're kind of on the marquee stage of showing the NHL what it's got in the present and what the future is going to be. So I think in the end, I think they're going to be very happy that this is the series that they got, because I think it's going to be fantastic.
Excellent observations, Tracy. I have a final question for you. It comes down to goaltenders, I think. And you have, and I made a line that Les didn't laugh at the other day, but I think it's Bishop.
Try it again. Maybe I'll laugh at it now.
Bishop to Rook to King. Which one of the two? See, she laughed, so it wasn't that bad of her.
She's just being nice because she's a guest on our show.
Yeah. Which goaltender you got?
You know, this is another one. Does it come down to the experience of a guy who's been here before, like Corey Crawford, or is Bishop going to be, the guy he was in games 5 and 7 against the New York Rangers? I mean, if you look at both goaltenders, they both had their ups and downs in this playoffs. Corey Crawford right out of the gate against Nashville. I mean, he couldn't have gotten off to a worse start, and part of it was the team in front of him, but he took the brunt of that and then lost the net for 3-4 games, which was very surprising. But, and then he rebounded great against Minnesota, pretty darn good against Anaheim. And then he got Bishop on the other end, who I think there was 3 games he gave up 5 goals against the Rangers, and then he shut them out twice in Madison Square Garden, including Game 7. So tremendous work by both to get here. Again, I wonder if it comes down to the experience of Crawford's been here before. He had a rough game in Game 5 last year against Boston, where it was all glove hand all the time, betraying him, and then yet came back and won the next game. So that's I would say him at the moment. Going into this, that he has the edge.
All right, Tracey, be objective here now. Who's going to win?
Okay.
Who's going to win the series?
How many games?
You know what? I first of all, I'm terrible at predictions. I write that I never do them, and I don't.
But you're standing. We have a 60-inch TV, and the photo of you is standing in front of a gigantic
Blackhawks
Native
logo.
American. So we kind of know.
All right, Tracey, I'll tell you what. I'll let you off the hook. You don't have to make a prediction if you FedEx me a Malnati's pizza. How's that?
Yeah.
I'll work on it.
And some frozen yogurt in the same box.
And Tracey, do me a favor. Say hello to one of my former interns who works with you at Comcast Sportsnet Chicago, Luke Stuckmeyer, okay?
And tell us your...
Luke is sitting right in front of me right now. So
Oh, yeah?
And tell us your Twitter account so everybody can follow you throughout the series.
It is at Trey Myers, ESN.
Well,
Tracey.
that's very creative.
Yeah.
Tracey, thank you, and enjoy the series, all right?
Thanks very much, guys.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Tracey
She
Myers
laughed.
with
We made her
Comcast
laugh.
Sports Chicago.
We made her laugh a lot. That's good.